a farm.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning in to Report to the People. My report today, is fantastic. We are honored to come into the home of the chief, Mr. Eddie Clearwater, the extraordinary blues musician, writer, creator, author. Mr. Eddie Clearwater, thank you for inviting us into your home.
You're more than welcome. Thank you for coming also.
You are so welcome. You are the chief. Tell us, where did you get that name?
Well, one-time producer, his name was Jim O'Neill.
Jim O'Neill.
Yeah, he was producing a record on me.
Yes.
So I said to him, for the artwork, I want to ride a horse and wear my Indian headdress. And would hold my guitar in my hand like we're riding through to come play some blues for you. So he rented a farm in Joliet, Illinois.
All
They had a
right.
horse farm. So we went down to Joliet. He made an appointment the whole day. We went to Joliet and shot pictures. And when we got done with the photograph session, he said we'll call the album The Chief. You know.
The chief.
So then everybody started calling me The Chief.
Wow. And so you added that in, so it just became where they always call you the chief.
Oh yes,
The Chief.
got stuck with it.
Yes, and we still have farms and horseback riding, horse farms in Joliet.
Oh yes,
Illinois.
absolutely.
Yes, all
Very
in
much.
some of the south suburbs and everything. You know, now, even though that stuff, why did you want to have the headdress of the Indian?
Just to have.
Is there Indian?
Oh yeah, my
lineage?
grandmother was almost full-blood Cherokee.
Okay.
Yeah, my grandfather, as a matter of fact, there's a picture of him on the wall over there. You can
Cherokee.
sitting in a rocking chair as my grandma Ida is.
Ida, and
Yeah.
where were they from? What state?
From the state of Mississippi.
The state of Mississippi.
Knoxville County.
Knoxville County.
Knoxville, yes.
All right, the great state of Mississippi. All right.
Yeah, there's a proclamation also from Mississippi.
All right. Speaking of proclamations, you are going to be the Grand Marshal of the parade in Skokie, Illinois.
I feel so honored about that.
I feel honored too for you, the Grand Marshal of the parade. You also wrote a song for the city of Skokie.
Skokie, yes.
Yes, and what is the name of the song?
Skokie is a first-class town.
And ladies and gentlemen, Skokie is a first-class town, not just because my daughter-in-law's family lives out here in Skokie. It is a first-class town. I have many friends over the years that lived in Skokie. And so you're going to be, that's going to be the 4th of July.
4th of July, I'm really looking forward to it. It's going to be
Why, we
my
may
pleasure
just come
to be
out
there.
here just
And
to see
say
the
hi
parade.
to everybody. and
Yes,
stuff, yeah.
for the parade.
I might even sing a verse of this song at the parade. Skokie is a first-class town. Oh yeah, Skokie is a first-class town.
Oh, yeah.
That's what Ronnie Baker and I were producing this stuff today, working on it today, as a matter of fact, yeah, for the new recording.
Really, for the new recording, you're going to have this song on this?
Oh, absolutely. First and foremost, yeah.
Skokie is a first-class town.
Yes.
Wow.
I've been all around the world, but guess where I settled down? Settled down in Skokie, because Skokie is a first-class town. This is the young man that's producing it right
All
now.
right, we're going to interview
Ronnie Baker.
Ronnie Baker Brooks.
Yes.
If you remember my show from the Blues Fest time in Chicago at Motor Row, I interviewed the late, great Eddie Shaw and
Eddie
Ronnie
Shaw.
Baker Brooks. Yes. And that is beautiful, and you all are doing an album together.
Oh yes, yeah. He produced my last album too.
Really?
So the West Side Strut. It was
The West Side
produced by Ronnie Baker,
Strut?
yes.
And what are some of the songs on there about? You're strutting down Madison Avenue, or what?
Skokie is a first-class town. Party hard in my backyard. We're working on, and used to be's don't make honey no more. That's a brand new one. We just wrote. As a matter of fact, yesterday, I had a brand new idea. I brought it to Ronnie Baker. I said, I had an idea in my head for a song but I can't put it in a pad in my pocket. I wanted that. Ronnie Baker got the guitar. I said, wait a minute, that's the pattern right there.
Wow, great
Used to
minds.
be,
Used to be.
don't make no honey no more.
Used to bees.
Used to be.
Used to bees. Don't make honey no more.
Right, yeah.
So
I used to do this, I used to do that, yeah. But used to be is not where it's at.
all right.
Used to be don't make honey no more.
That's right. So if you want to keep making sweet honey, I think you have to stick with it.
Right,
But if it's
exactly.
something that you used to be that wasn't quite right,
It's over with, it's done.
over with, forget it, press
Right,
on to
yeah.
something new.
Thank you, that's the concept right there.
All right, my young people,
Yeah,
listen up.
yeah,
The blues is for everybody.
for everybody.
Everybody. There's messages in the music. Tell us, Mr. Clearwater, when you started writing, well, back in 1956, I believe, you wrote some music called Doing the Model,
Doing the model, a song
is-
I wrote in
yes.
56,
1956.
and it was a 45, came out on a 45.
I'm sure most of our viewers know what that is, a 45. I should have brought one with me. I have plenty of them. I have a
Or
jukebox in my
RPM,
house.
for
Yes.
that round per minute, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, on the-
Vinyl 45
Vinyl,
record,
yeah, exactly.
yes. Because before then there was 78.
78, yeah, my first record was on a 78, but then I produced the doing the model on a 45, 45s that came in
Okay.
at that time, so that was the new takeover for the music industry.
All right.
So I
And what was that song about?
just doing about a beautiful girl. She looks so good that she should be a model.
Oh,
So
I didn't know
baby
you
looks so
about
good.
me.
She danced so fine. She ought to be a
Really?
model on Hollywood and Vine.
All right.
And believe me, all these years later, a company from Australia, they found the record, and a gentleman from New York, which is a music producer,
Yes.
he found a way to contact me through Bruce Egloff of Alligator Records.
Yes.
So Bruce said, here's his information right here. So then Jonathan Hick called me from New York and said, we want to use your song for a commercial, and there's a band from Australia named Hamatude. We want to make a hip hop recording out of it. Now this is a blues record, remind you. They put it into a hip hop song, and they started. Sony Records is the master people that owns it,
Yes.
and they started sending me royalties before they even released it. And I had never made a penny off of that record for royalties. It was just a
Okay.
45 I recorded in 75.
1956.
56. Yeah.
That was money in the bank.
It was a found money. Yeah, it's called
It
found.
was.
I swear, this is strange. And it goes to show you that blues have more of a future than a lot of people realize, because it's got a foundation
That's
that everyone sooner or later got to find that foundation to build anything. You cannot build a good house if you don't have a good foundation to set it on.
That's
and
right.
blues is the foundation.
a strong foundation.
Exactly.
Built in stone and concrete, not shifting sand.
That's right. That's right. Exactly right.
That is strong. So it's like, really, this is springtime.
Right.
This is time to plant seeds
Oh yeah.
for
right.
the fall,
For the fall.
harvest.
Yeah, for
so
harvest
in
time.
1956, you planted seeds, yielded a little bit from the crop, maybe from the 45, and it wasn't until later. That's why I say there's money in the bank.
Money in the bank. That's right. And
Someone hears it later, across the world,
From Australia. And then they found a way to find me through a gentleman in New York named Jonathan.
Connections.
Yes, and then he said, well, now we got to find the author of the song, because I own the publishing rights to
That's
it.
right.
And the writer's rights. So they had to find me to get permission to use it.
Of course.
Then when they found me, they said, we have a check already for you, because we started processing it, but we need your permission to have full permission to use it.
That's right.
And then they sent me another check. I said, oh,
Keep those checks coming.
That's
Would you-
right.
Check the vaults and look for some
Maybe that's
old
some more
music.
that's something
Because
that
what
you didn't
was-
discover.
What was said yesterday can still be used for the future.
Exactly.
What you did yesterday or today even, young people, what you do today is seeds for tomorrow,
For tomorrow, right?
your future. You may not realize what you're doing right now
Right.
is for tomorrow, for your future.
God,
There's someone waiting, the now generation that is so full of talent and gifts,
Right.
decided to put your music, the lovely, lovely blues, to hip hop.
That's right. Yeah. So this is amazing.
Yes, they put it to hip hop, and now commercials
Yeah. They
where
put it on.
it will reach the generations.
During the
now.
Olympics, we were watching TV. My wife and I were watching TV, and during the intermission break on the Olympics, here comes the song. Oh, baby, looks so good, baby. I said,
Whoa!
on TV, I said,
And I've
that's
heard
my
that song. I didn't realize that.
That's what. That's
I
what it
watched
is.
the Olympics. Wow.
Yeah, and then Channel 2, Channel 5,
Wow.
Channel 7, they're all playing it.
Now speaking
Then they
of,
paid me the royalties up until September. Sony did. They gave me a contract for the royalties.
Yes.
They say your next royalty payment is you pay up until September.
All
That's
right.
when you get your next statement. So I don't know what's going to be on it, but whatever it is, I'll be able to help somebody else with it because
Yes.
see, money is only good for one thing: help yourself and help somebody if you can.
yes,
Because
help
that's all.
them.
That's right. Help somebody else.
not make
All
a
you can do
cripple
with
out
it.
of them,
That's right, but help them. If you
not
see
give
a
them
person-
crutches,
Right.
to keep them crippled, but to help them to get where they need to go,
Exactly,
need
because
to be.
see, if a person is in this condition today,
Yes,
it's not right for me to look down on that person. It's when I look down, I say, well, I used to be so this,
yes,
and somebody had to help me
that's right.
grow to this. Otherwise, if my grandmother didn't help me grow, I wouldn't have been able to be here today. Because that's who raised me, my grandmother and father.
All right.
So you're helping someone else, they need help. Don't look down on them. Don't try to give them a hand, try to help them
Help
up.
them up. Help
Right.
them up.
And that's what
Because,
money is good for.
yes,
Somebody else, if you can do it,
as
do it.
as my favorite book tells me, money is the answer.
It's just
to
a
all
tool.
things. It's a tool.
Yeah.
My favorite book is the Bible, the Scriptures. Money is an answer for many things. It's to
Many
help
things.
you along the way.
That's right.
It's to
Exactly.
help you. It's a tool.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Speaking of, say, Australia, to think of most musicians, most of our music, you go overseas.
Yes. Yeah.
And I mean, what's up, as the young people say, what's up with that? You go overseas, do performances, your music goes over there. They hear it in Japan, Europe, Denmark,
Yeah.
Italy,
Italy, France.
and then they want to record it, or they come over here and want to learn more about your music and you. I say our music.
Right. Exactly. You said it right.
Yes, it's our music.
That's right. That's what
This
we
is
created.
roots
The blues.
music. It is.
Nobody can take that away from us.
That's right.
Anyone can use it in the world if they want to, if
That's
they
right.
desire to. But guess who created it?
That's right. Who created it? Tell us. You, Ronnie Brooks.
Like his dad,
everyone's-
Lonnie Brooks, and
So
Muddy
many.
Waters, Jimmy Reed,
Yes.
Howlin' Wolf, people like that. And they scuffled with it to get it to the market where it could be heard.
That's right.
And the Americans heard it, they liked it. But then when the Europeans heard it, they said, this is something new.
To them, it was new.
Ooh, new, yeah.
And they could really listen to it as, speaking of Cherokees and other Indians, as they were during the time that they were here in America, to really hear something, they listened to the ground.
They
They get down
you can hear it,
to
yeah.
the ground to hear the
Hear
vibrations.
the two vibrations.
It'll come through their hearts, through the vibrations. So the Europeans heard it. Hold up, wait a minute. They heard something.
Yes. And when the British heard it,
Yes.
people like Mick Jagger, the Rolling Stones, Eric Clapton, I could go on and on.
Yes.
But they heard it, and they started to record it, and it got so popular He said, let's take this music back to America and reintroduce it to the Americans. So this is their music.
Yes.
We're going to show them our version of what they created.
Yes.
And it took the Stones and Eric Clapton, people like that, to reintroduce our music.
To another generation. To another generation.
To a generation, that's right, exactly.
Because the generation that started and the next generation already had it.
Already had it,
But
exactly.
sometimes,
The younger people, they didn't know, they thought hip hop and stuff like that, they thought, well, this is new, this is, no, all of that came from the blues. The
Right.
blues is the granddaddy of what they're doing.
and I get excited that they get it now, and it causes them to go do research
Do research and find out who created what and when.
and let me listen to some original blues.
Right.
Let me see where it came from. So, as God would have it, He brings everybody together, all of His people.
He have his own way of doing it.
Our people started the music, started writing it out of the depths of their souls, out of the struggles. Even all of them weren't struggles. It wasn't all, as some people would think, sad music. A man came in from the fields, from picking cotton, from growing vegetables, from working, and come home, and he started singing about the day.
That's right, see, here it is. A gentleman was playing guitar with me, and he asked me, could you do me a favor, play that song, Stormy Monday by Eric Clapton. I said, wait a minute. I hold up just a minute. I said, I'm sorry, that's a T-Bone Walker song.
T-Bone Walker.
He said, it is? He said, I thought it was by Eric Clapton, because that's what. I
That's
said,
what
well, he recorded it, but then he went and looked up the original, and then he came back and said, you're right, that's T-Bone Walker. So he was a white guy playing guitar with me. I said,
Yes, and then T-Bone Walker was writing a song about, well,
this is
Stormy
You
Monday.
got to get up and go to work and
Worked all
week.
day,
Yeah.
and then Tuesday comes,
And Wednesdays just as bad. It's the same thing again.
Thursday, and
Right.
Friday,
Friday you get paid on Friday.
and the eagle flies.
You're right, there you have it.
It starts all over again. These are songs of life,
It's of life. It's folk songs
folks.
about folk.
And then it just all comes together.
Exactly.
Now, speaking of your when you were growing up, what inspired you to start singing and playing the guitar? Which came first, singing or playing the guitar?
Playing the guitar.
Okay, and how did that come about? You had a guitar or
No,
someone?
my uncles would had acoustic guitars,
Yes.
and they would let me touch them when I got old enough to touch them. They wouldn't. They were very protective at first, and they said, "No, don't try it." And I was anxious just to touch the string and see what the sound would be. And I touched it, and then all of a sudden my uncle said, "No, hey, go ahead and play it." He caught me monkeying around with it. He said,
All right.
"Don't, just pick it up and play it." My Uncle Houston, and that's what.
Uncle Houston.
Yeah.
So he encouraged you to pick
And
at
he's
it
the one
and
that
play?
encouraged me to come to Chicago.
Really?
He wrote me a letter from Birmingham, Alabama. He wrote me a letter and said, you always wanted to pursue music as a career. He said, if you come to Chicago, you'll get that opportunity because there's people in Chicago playing music 7 nights a week. They do music for a living, and they name people like Muddy Waters, Howlin' Wolf, Little Walter, Jimmy Reed, and Elmo James. They were all in Chicago at that time, playing night after night after night, from club to club.
Yes, and this was their way of making a living.
Exactly, exactly. And they all came from either Mississippi or Alabama, from that region here.
And people will look at it now and think, oh, that was an easy life. Oh, it's so glamorous. Oh, they're playing music and, oh, they're making tons and tons of money.
That's not the story, you know.
No. Well, every night they weren't, some of them were working day jobs.
Oh, yeah, right. Yeah,
Working, as you say, real jobs in the daytime.
And then they have to supplement, to play music, then they have to supplement it with something else to make ends meet.
Right, because these jobs were, this was their life, their passion. It wasn't paying anything.
Right, exactly, right.
Is that where the thing came in? They saying the Chitlin Circuit.
Chitlin circuits, yeah, certain circuits.
You traveled around,
all black people.
and because you got paid in your meal, but with a meal.
Yeah,
I was told that that's usually in the case just a few little dollars, but you got paid by they fed you.
They feed you, give you a good meal, and see, in the union scale, like they used to, well, they had.
There was no union.
Right, they had to form a
then.
union, and the union scale at that time, I remember when the scale in Chicago was like, I think, $8 to $10 a night per man.
Per night,
But, yeah,
not
night,
per
yeah,
hour, per night.
Yeah, $10. I remember when Muddy's band was getting $10 a night, and Muddy was getting 25 because he was the star of the show. The same thing with Howlin' Wolf.
Yes.
They worked for $10 a night. Otis Rush did the same thing. He had $10 a night,
had
and
the-
play the band 10,
Yes.
and then the leader make a little more, like 15 or 20 or 25, whatever.
And that was a struggle, a hard life.
Yeah, and that was the scale. That was the legitimate amount that they had to pay. And a lot of them didn't want to pay what the scale was, even though it was very low.
To
They said,
hear all of this beautiful music,
no. Yes,
and they
right.
didn't want to pay. I remember when I was a little girl, our neighbors, we were too poor to even have a record player. So we did have a television. We got
Oh,
a
yeah.
television in 1955.
55, yeah.
Yes, a
So
small.
they came on the market, general market on 46 TV. So that's when I first seen it in Birmingham, Alabama.
My dad worked
46.
on as a mechanic on Motor Road.
Motorola, yeah.
Yes, so he
Motorola,
did have a
yeah.
car, wasn't brand new. He had the Apex motor, so his boss saw that he had a car, and we also had a television.
TV,
So
yeah.
yes, a little television. We always had radios, but our neighbors had the record player.
Yeah.
Someone else had the records, and they would listen to all of the artists that you mentioned. So as I grew up, I wasn't into the blues. I wanted music as a young person. I thought you couldn't dance to that. There's no beat to it. To me,
Yeah, that's what I was told also by a lot of people. That I don't want to hear that old blues stuff. I want to hear listen to that. And I do listen to Jimmy Reed and people like that. They say, why you listen to that old blues
That's
stuff?
what they say. And if I ask young people today about music, how would you describe it? The same way I did, as old people's music. It used to be, but that was because, you know, the different generations listening to something else. I was watching my uncles or someone dance, and to me, they danced funny. They weren't doing the twist.
The twist, yeah, they had the old
Mashed
rhythm.
potatoes and whatever the other songs were out in the 60s.
Right.
They were like, but they just, now that I'm older, I dance the same way. We have rhythm, movement, and feeling.
Yeah.
So it's not old people's music, and it's not
Exactly.
that with my gray hair I grew into it.
Yeah.
But this is real music.
Absolutely. It's down to earth.
Yes.
Down
So
there.
it seems that the European market had to come, or you seem to be more appreciated.
See, that's why all of the musicians had to shift and travel back to Europe and place in order to get paid a decent salary.
Yes.
It's the honest to God truth. It's a shame that it come to that. Because the Europeans, they seem to appreciate, because it's not as common to them.
Yes.
They hear blues, that's a very high item on their list.
Yes.
But the American, they got to a point where, say, if you have a beautiful backyard
Yes.
full of beautiful flowers,
Yes.
you don't notice as much. Well, if you have a neighbor a few blocks down, have a pretty yard, you say, oh, that yard is so beautiful.
Yes.
But you have the same flowers in your backyard, you just don't notice them. Because you see them every day.
So that
You don't
means
pay
I'm
attention to
taking them for granted.
Taking it for granted. Thank you. Thank you, ma'am.
And that means if you take something for granted, you're not showing appreciation.
That's right, yeah. Mother used to play a club, and I used to play clubs. People come to the door and say, how much is it to get in? It would be $2. Back then, sometimes it could be $2. Oh, man, I'm not paying no $2 to go in there and see nobody play blues.
They don't know what they were missing.
Right, and it was Muddy, Howlin' Wolf, all of them used to play, and they couldn't get a $2 admission.
Yes.
And they go to Europe, They sell out wherever they go.
They certainly do. They certainly do. My friend Mitty Collier, Pastor Mitty Collier,
Mitty Collier,
now.
yeah, oh yeah.
Yes, she was singing rhythm and blues, and later, because she lost her voice, went through something, and then she came back. She said, "I'm just going to sing gospel," but it has the blues foundation. All gospel music does. She started with that. She went over to Perillo, to Italy. They invited her over. She said, "Well, I don't sing the blues anymore." "No, come anyway. Come on." She went, and the place was packed. They wanted to hear her singing, just what she sang.
Yeah, see, my first.
They really appreciate it.
Really appreciate it. My first European tour was in 1976 with myself, Buddy Guy, Junior Wells, and Hubert Sumlin, and Jimmy Johnson.
Okay, the bicentennial year.
Yes, oh yes. And Buddy was complaining all the way. He was saying, we come here in Europe, and they appreciate us so much wherever we go. And he said, just next door to my house, people don't even know who I am. They live next door to me.
That's right.
At that time, they have no idea who I am right next door.
Otis Clay said the same thing. Go over to Japan.
Right. Oh, I was in Japan with Otis Clay.
All right.
Yeah.
And to really be appreciated even more. He was singing blues and gospel for years.
Absolutely. And
but more appreciation. Of course, when they got back, then people started appreciating them more.
Started appreciating them more.
So I guess you have to leave home to come back.
You have to leave home to be recognized. Even Jesus had to do that. He had to leave his hometown before we gained any recognition.
That's right.
He was just a common everyday.
Oh, he was just the son of a carpenter. That's what they said. That's what they knew him as. They didn't know him as a man of miracles.
When we were in Japan, Otis Clay had this song called "When Hearts Go Strong," I think it's called.
Okay.
And the Japanese people said, "Do that song when hearts go fine."
Something like wanted to do it again.
Yeah, right. And that was the big request they wanted Otis Clay to sing. I never will forget it.
Really?
And he would, when hearts go wrong, when hearts
something like that.
Yeah, right. And he was, and I said, so now he sang that song. And the States, and they don't pay much attention to it.
But I'm glad we have a generation coming up now
That
wants to. Tell us a little bit too about your club. You had a club, or not a club, but a music store.
A music store, and then I had a club on in Wicker Park.
Okay.
Yeah, the Reservation Blues.
Reservation Blues. Okay.
Yes.
That's what I remember. I went years ago.
Oh yeah.
So, yes, I was up north for an art fair with a group, and they had art music, and we were there. And I said, "Okay, let me go and listen. Just stand there and look." And there you came out on stage with the Indian chief hat, and I was like, "Wow."
Yeah, Reservation Blues. We still own the building that the club was in. It's now called the Revel Room.
The Revel.
So, yeah, we sold the business.
Oh, right.
But we kept the building, because it's a club downstairs, and there's one apartment upstairs, so we kept the building.
So do you think you'll go back to that sometime or another in the future?
If I ever retire, I don't think musicians ever get totally retired, because there's something in their spirit. Like I told Ronnie Becker, he came over to my house. I said, when you come over and we started doing with music, I said, you start me up. Like Mick Jagger said, start me up. He said, start me up.
Yes.
Yeah, I want to go. I want to play there.
So you will never retire?
No, as long as I have any amount of health and strength, I will be playing to some extent.
Yes.
Because I like what I'm doing. Otherwise, I don't do it just for some money.
No,
That's not the reason. I do music because I love what I'm doing. And we feed off of each other. This guy makes a lick. I said, where did you find that lick at, man? You come up with some ideas. It's just like Otis Rush used to do when I used to go see Otis play.
Yes.
Man, he just make you cry, man. That guy would come up. with the sounds he'd come out with.
Yes,
And it's the same way with Ronnie. I told Ronnie he's my new Otis Rush.
so someone you've
And
been
Magic Sam.
nurturing. You've been Magic Sam. Yes.
Magic Sam, Otis Rush, and Magic Sam, Otis.
And did you play with Magic Slim also?
Oh, Slim was my buddy. Yeah.
Yes.
A long time. We were Magic Slim and I.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah, he was with Clearwater.
Clearwater. And how did you get the name Clearwater? Where did that come from?
It was just
Clearwater.
Well, just from through the pronunciation, some people would say Clearwaters, and some guys would say, "Hey, Clearwater," you know. That's, and
Clearwater. You ever sit and ponder and think about your name? Clearwater.
I don't really give it much thought until someone mentioned it. I said, "Well, what Clearwater? Okay."
Of course, even with the Indian, lineage, the ancestry of Clearwater, Indians always had names that, according to nature. That
Oh yeah,
means
according to nature
something.
about things of
The
nature, like water,
universe,
clear
yes.
and water and
Water is life.
life. Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
it's life-giving, life-sustaining. So sometimes just you and your wife just go to the beach or go to the lake and just sit and just listen to the water just
The sound of the water.
go,
Yeah.
and take Ronnie with you too, so he can sit in the background
Mm-hmm.
as you all sit and listen to the water. And because teachers motivate, they influence and inspire. But your teachers and your mentor, your proteges do the same.
Absolutely. Oh yeah.
It's the same for you. You all feed off of each other. You teach him, you motivate him, and he does the same for you.
Oh yeah.
So if you are near the waters, clear water,
Mhm.
you'll hear some sounds that will come in much clearer.
Much clearer for you.
You both will start singing some new songs too. I mean, you're working on some now, I know, but every song needs a singer.
Mm-hmm.
Needs somebody to sing. Needs somebody to play.
Deliver it. Yeah.
You need someone. You need the motivation.
Motivation. Yeah.
So I don't know if you noticed with this young man. You said you've known them. You go by their house, and these two little boys, Wayne Baker, Brooks, and Ronnie, would be sitting and standing and listening to you.
Oh yeah, it was.
You and their father.
They stood right by the end of the couch, and they wouldn't move from that spot.
Really?
They stood, everything we were talking about, they listened to like, we got to hear this, you know. It's just it's so amazing. It's myself and Avalok came together.
So just motivating them, it's just we realize that you're given the assignment to inspire someone else,
Right. Yeah.
to keep it going. It's just like, well, it is. You planted seeds.
Mhm.
You, their father, all the others, but especially you were close to them. You planted seeds in these young men. So the seeds keep multiplying
Oh yeah.
as you
right.
get from the fruit, the fruit.
From the root to the fruit. Yeah.
From the root to the fruit.
Yes.
And you look at the fruit itself has seeds in it.
Absolutely. Yeah.
One piece of fruit
it multiplies. Yeah.
multiplies.
Multiplies.
You can't tell how much more fruit is coming from the one
Exactly.
seed.
It keeps regenerating itself.
Right. So you keep regenerating yourself, and he's regenerating himself.
Right.
We're gonna take a quick break. I get carried away, and if if Clarence or someone doesn't tell me, okay, it's break time, I forget. We're just so deeply. But we're just gonna take a break just so you all can run to the restroom. You should have your water or whatever
Some
right
water,
next
yeah.
to you. So some clear water.
Clear water.
So, yes.
The substance of life. Yeah.
The substance of life.
The greatest substance of life.
Oh, it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
We will be back with the minister of music, of blues music, Minister Eddie Clearwater. We'll be right back.
Thank you.
All the way from Alabama to Mississippi. He came up the highway coming up to Chicago when he was 15 years old. Worked washing dishes, a cab driver, like all the blue stars in Chicago. 17 CDs later, Grammy nominated. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Alligator recording artist, Eddie the Chief Clearwater! Give it up for the Chief!
Hey, how y'all doing? Y'all want to hear some blues? Everybody over here. Do y'all want to hear some blues tonight?
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I know I gave you plenty of time to get your clear water, your life-sustaining water. All right, and we are here at the beautiful home of Mr. and Mrs. Eddie Clearwater, Renee Clearwater, the bridge for Mr. Clearwater, his soulmate. All right, we just had to give a shout out to Mrs. Clearwater. You know, we women got it going on.
Yeah, absolutely. Say me too.
Yeah, me too. Me too. Yes, so I just have to say thank you to Mrs. Clearwater. All right, Mr. Eddie Clearwater, it is just a pleasure just sitting here with you talking. We're going to have to do another show because there's so much. We have this, even with Ronnie Baker. Yes, Ronnie Baker Brooks is sitting here with us, ladies and gentlemen. We've been talking about him all during the interview.
Yes.
And because there's so much, you know, it's like you just can't tell all of it. You mentioned you had a record store at 71st and Stewart in the city of
On the
Chicago.
south side of Chicago, yes.
Yes, almost near where the old Teachers College was.
Yes, oh yeah.
My aunt and uncle had a drugstore, McMakin drugstores at
Oh,
70.
McMakin, yeah.
Yes, Henry McMakin was my uncle. You know, I told you I was a pharmacy technician also. My aunt, his beautiful wife,
His wife, yeah.
Bernice McMakin.
Yes, I knew him right next door to the store.
Yes.
Right next
Your
door to
record
the
store.
drugstore. Yes.
When I was a girl and I worked there, I didn't have time to run into the music store because by that time we had a record player. I would get my brothers to buy the records. I bought a record player with my money and get them to buy the records, the 45s. So yes, those were McMakin Drugs. They were in business since the 40s, really before I was born.
Yeah, look at
If
that.
it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be who I am today.
Oh my God.
And as a woman being married for 48 years, I don't think that would have happened too much if it wasn't for that couple who was married a long time too. They helped me to see and understand things as far as understanding my husband's, the way he had to work and how they work together, both of them. Some couples say they can't work together, but they could, and things that they taught me about marriages and supporting your husband. That's where I learned it from. And see, the next show we're gonna do is on the road that blues musicians and artists, men and women, have to travel, and they can't really do it alone, and the support that they need from their spouses. They're trying to keep their families intact, and the hard work somewhat. It's not real hard, but you can make it easier because
Absolutely.
man was created to work.
That's right.
He's supposed to work, but he needs
Work together, need somebody.
a helpmate.
Help me. That's right.
You know,
Work
he's
together.
lonely. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen, but that's why God gave Adam Eve.
Teamwork make the dream work.
Yeah.
Where did you get that from?
Just came to me.
Did he steal that from me? It's okay, you got it. That's my
Maybe I have.
saying.
I don't know. I'm feeling your vibes.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
Yeah.
And speaking of that again,
Yes.
Clear Waters runs into the brooks.
Wow.
Lynn Orman, thank you. I got that from Lynn. Clear waters run into the brooks.
Right.
You are mentoring this young man. You have mentored him. It's still a partnership, teamwork. You're producing some of his music. You're producing it together.
Yeah, it's the vibes of it. It's just flows in between us. Yeah.
I have a lot of love and
Yeah.
respect for Eddie for many years. It's an honor to be in his presence. It's an honor to make music with him.
The same bag.
See?
And I feel like inspired again after losing my father recently last year.
Yes,
It's been a rough transition for me.
it is.
And Eddie's always been there, but
He's the bridge.
he's always been there. But it was like when we talked about doing this new project we're doing now. I was a little reluctant because I'm still like trying to deal with the loss
Grieving.
of my father. But I talked to my wife, like you were saying,
Yes.
you know, having that support. I talked to my wife. She's like, "No, you got to get in there and do it. You got to go and
This
do
is
it."
your dream. Your
And
vision.
Doing this now is healing. It's making me feel better.
And what did you say? It's
Healing.
healing. Don't be afraid to say it.
No, I'm not. But
It
yeah.
is healing.
And everything works the way it's supposed to work.
Yes.
You know, and I've worked on Eddie's previous record on Alligator, West
This
Side
one.
Strut.
West Side Street.
West Side Strut, and we had a great time. We wrote a lot of the stuff right here in his home, downstairs in the
In
basement.
the basement, yeah.
At the time, I could spend the night because I wasn't married.
Yeah, we went so late one night, excuse me.
I had to spend the night.
Well, if he brings a permission slip from his wife, can he spend the night when he's working or something?
I had to bring her with me.
Or Miss, I was gonna say,
She's
Mrs. Brooks,
welcome.
pack
There's
your
plenty
bags
room
and
up there for both of
bring
them.
your pallet, as they say.
Yeah. And we, you know, it was just a great energy.
Yes.
A great energy, a great vibe. And to be able to do this again, I'm very honored. Very honored.
And I'm excited. I'm excited to be in the presence of two great creative artists with gifts that you motivate each other.
Feels very good.
Yes.
Very good.
And I feel your spirit. I
Thank
feel
you.
a goodness,
absolutely,
a
yeah.
good energy from you as well. And,
Thank
and I
you.
appreciate that. All of this you guys are doing today is good for me. The language we talked, and you know, everything we talked about before the interview has been very helpful to me as well. So thank you.
You are so welcome. And my young people and not so young people, keep motivating and lifting up each other.
Yeah.
It's teamwork. Young
Teamwork.
people, all of you young artists, there are a lot of you. Thank you, Dr. Jimmy Tillman and Freddie
Yeah.
Dixon. All of you, Manchester, all of you are working with young people to motivate them, to help them along. Young people, listen. As you listen and you learn, you're inspired and motivated even more. You can't do it alone. You don't know everything. Not yet. Wait until you get to be my age. And then you still listen
Still,
and
yeah,
learn
yeah.
and let mentors help you to learn, and then find a good support system.
Yeah.
People to support you. You have to be
Yeah.
together with supporters.
Yes, can I say one thing?
Yes, say more.
None of us are as good as all of us.
Took the words. I'll get ready
Say
to
that again.
None of us are as good as all of
All
us.
of us together.
I used that. He said that to me
Yeah.
years
None of
ago,
us.
And you remember.
and it stuck with me like since then. None of us is greater than all of us.
That's right.
That's powerful.
It
That's
is.
powerful.
It's powerful.
None
Very
of us as good as all of us.
Yes. And from the record store, you would tell us about you had 78s, the
78.
vinyls.
Yes.
Those are the records that first came out.
It first came out. Yeah.
Yes. Now, I know today we're on laser disc and some other things, but what else? You had a ton of records. What happened to those? You were telling the
I
gentleman.
had a ton of 78.
2 box fulls.
2 boxes. They would come 100 in a box in a case. And I had them stashed in the store. So when the 45s came out, everything was being printed and produced on the 45 RPM.
Yes.
So I said, well, these are no good anymore. I took the whole 2 boxes and dumped them in the garbage. And then along came Bob Kessler from Delmont Records. He asked me, "You ever make any 40s and in 78s?" I said, "Yeah, my first record was on a 78, Boogie Woogie Baby and Hillbilly Blues." He said, "What did you do with all of them? Did you have any left?" I said, "Yeah, I had 200 of them." And I dumped them in the garbage. He jumped straight out of his chair and said, "You fool! You threw those away." I didn't know.
You didn't know.
I said, "Well, it's obsolete." You know?
Yeah.
That was a
He said,
treasure.
you know what
treasure.
the collector's item that was?
Collectors.
Then at that time, that's when I started to travel to Europe a lot.
Yes.
And a lot of people there would ask me, "Did you have any 78s that you made back when?"
Yeah.
I said, "I had them." And I was so sad to tell the story. Well, I had them, but I dumped 200 of them in the garbage. And they said, "Oh my God, why did you do that?"
Well,
I learned my lesson. I learned it the hard way.
right, the hard way, but that's all right. You know, God says that He will restore
Restore.
what you've lost. It won't
Yeah.
be maybe
Yeah.
those exact records. Then who knows again? Someone may come up and say, "Hey,
I found
I found them. I still have them in my
a
basement."
garbage man.
Yes, the garbage
Yeah,
man.
it's possible. Somebody
You
might have took them out
know,
of
you
the
can
garbage.
restore some things. Now, Ronnie, what are
Yes.
you going to be doing soon?
Well, we're working on this new record for Eddie. We got the Chicago Blues Fest coming up,
Yes.
and
8, 9, 10.
yes, and I'm doing the live broadcast on WXRT. They do every day before the Blues Fest.
Before the festival, every year.
Do a live
Annually.
broadcast, and with Shamika Copeland as the host, and Billy Branch and myself
All right.
with Tom Marker from WXRT. So we're doing a live broadcast on I want to say June 7th. I think that's Thursday.
From Buddy Guys.
From Buddy Guys Legends,
All right.
and it's free.
Okay. Free,
It's free.
as in no money?
But if you can't make it, you can listen to it on WXRT
radio.
or online.
Yes.
Yeah.
Tom Marker, yeah.
But it would be
It'd be a great
nice to
night.
be down there. It was the 9th and Wabash.
Yeah, 8th and
8th and
Wabash.
Wabash, Buddy Guys.
And the next day, Eddie's playing here
All right.
with his show.
June
a full
9th.
show.
Okay. And Eddie's getting ready to go on his summer tour
Yes.
May 19th.
Yeah, May 19th, yeah.
Okay, and where will you be going?
Memphis,
May 5th.
May, yeah.
May 5th, Memphis, Tennessee.
Yeah, Memphis in May.
The Memphis and May
5th.
Festival.
All right. Now
It's
let's
a big
check my
festival. too.
schedule.
Yeah, it's really nice.
It's a big what?
Yeah,
Big
Tommy
festival.
Castro is on right up after us. Yeah.
Really? I may just take a drive down there.
Yeah.
May 5th, yes. I don't think I have something for May 4th, but it's only about less than 7 hours.
Yeah.
Driving the speed limit.
Limit.
Yes,
Get
it
you
is.
there.
I'll be there for the Blues Music Awards
Yeah, Memphis. Yeah.
on the 9th through the 10th of May. I'm
Okay.
nominated for 2 awards. I'm going.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, if you're signed up, if you're on one of the blues sites, the Blues Magazine, you can vote. You can vote.
The voting's done now.
Oh, that
It
one's
stopped,
done,
Yeah.
okay.
For next year though, they can
Next year.
yeah,
Okay.
sign up. Yeah.
All right, well,
For
congratulations.
Eddie's new record, but it'll be out by then. So
By then, yeah.
There'll be a
They can vote for his
nomination for
record.
it.
Yeah.
And you as producer, and you sing a little on some of the tracks.
We don't know yet. We still in the
You're working
early.
on it?
Yeah, we putting the songs together. We building the house. You start
All right.
with laying the foundation, and then we take it from there, and see what happens.
Wonderful
Yeah.
foundation. Now, I'm going to get out of the way because you all are going to play a little bit. You're going to sing
You wanna
a little bit.
Can we
Yes,
do that?
aren't they?
Yeah, sure.
Yes.
It's up to him.
It's up to him, the chief.
Well,
Up to the chief. All right. We need to, yes, up to the chief. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be right back with them coming back. Okay.
Can't you hear the church bells ringing? Can't you hear the choir singing? It is time for love. It is time for peace. It's time for war and hate to cease.
ladies and gentlemen, you've been watching Report to the People, and I have been reporting to you of Eddie Clearwater, the chief, and Ronnie Baker Brooks, the protege. In his own right, he's a mentor also to others. Go ahead, young men. Eddie is 83. Still going strong. We
83
praise
years
God.
young, man.
83 years young, and we praise God and thank Him for this minister of blues music, my
Yeah.
favorite music. Thank you. And thank you, Ronnie Baker Brooks.
Thank you for having me.
Go ahead.
Thank you both for
Yes.
having me. Thank you.
Thank you.
Too old to get married, too young to be buried.
1, 2, 3. Too old to get married, too young to be buried. Too old to get married, too young to be buried. I gotta get my new room because all night long. Well, I look in the mirror and tell me the truth. Gone are the days I'm a rock and roll you. Every time I hear that rock and roll sound, it makes me wanna get up and get on down now. Too old to get married, too young to be buried. I gotta get my groove on and party all night long. Look, oh, how long 'cause I'm down on the blues. I can even put on my dancing shoes. But people might say that I'm old. I ain't from the blues, but rock and roll on. Too old to get married, too young to be buried. I gotta get my groove on and party all night long. Rock and roll. Too old to get married, too young to be buried. I gotta get my groove on and party all night long. Too old to get married, too young to be buried. Too old to get married, too young to be buried. I gotta get my groove on and party all night long. All right now. I'm gonna do something, baby. I hope you don't take it wrong. I'm gonna do something, baby. I hope you don't take it wrong. I'm gonna do it for the flavor. You're young, you know. When you lie about the truth, you lie about everything. You came on this morning, remember. On down there, I'm gonna do something, baby. And I hope you don't take it wrong. I'm gonna do it for the flavor. If you're down with me, you know. Like a child, because I don't complain. It's kind of a weakness, you know. You're a good man. I'm gonna do something, baby. I hope you don't take it wrong. I'm gonna do it for the flavor. You're damn good, you know. doing good leaving alone.
Thank you, Eddie Clearwater, the Chief, and Ronnie Baker Brooks.
Yeah.
And I'm Jerry Patterson, and I'm gonna leave good loving alone. Good leaving alone.
Good leaving alone.
And I'm gonna leave you now. I'm gonna leave good leaving alone. Leaving.
We're gonna do what the devil won't do. We're gonna leave you
Leave
alone.
you alone. Goodbye. Thank you for watching. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Can't you hear the church bells ringing? Can't you hear the choir singing? It is time for love. It is time for peace. It's time for war and hate to cease. You see the children in the schoolyard playing. Can't you hear their parents?